Welcome to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo with the January 3rd, 2024 203rd edition, always broadcasting from the Cellmark Studios. Colleen Daniel is in Studio West, and we're here with the About Mansfield news team. And it's our 4th anniversary of delivering the local news to your ears. Coming up today, it's Mansfield News, Talk, and Information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield Trivia Question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's get you caught up on stories that happened while we were away last week.
Mansfield teen arrested in Parks Mall shooting.
Mansfield man indicted on bribe allegations.
Mansfield teen connected to Florida swatting case.
Restaurateurs call it quits after 2 decades of service.
Mansfield's first baby of the year is a boy.
And local baker breaks world record. In sports, Timberview girls continue their winning ways.
And in the talk segment, Steve talks with the board chairperson of a newly formed nonprofit. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
No matter your familiarity with buying or selling real estate, having an experienced, trusted advisor on speed dial is priceless. The Roger and Beth team of Century 21 Judge Fight is here to be that resource for you. Whether you're buying right here in Mansfield or your dreams are taking you elsewhere, we are ready to help you with turning that vision into a reality. To learn more, visit our website at homesinmansfield.com. That's homesinmansfield.com.
Hi, I'm Mansfield ISD Chief of Police, Greg Minter, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by the Grandview Event Center. We've been gone for a week, so let's get you caught up on the news. Colleen?
A Mansfield teenager was taken into custody without incident in his parents' home Thursday night in regards to his alleged involvement in a fight-turned-shooting at the Parks Mall that left 2 people wounded. 18-year-old Caden Jackson was booked into the Arlington City Jail on 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. According to police, Jackson got into a verbal argument with 3 other teenagers around 7:30 Thursday night. The fight turned physical as the 2 groups were coming down an escalator near Dick's Sporting Goods and the mall's ice rink. During the altercation, one of the teens, a 17-year-old, struck someone with his handgun, losing possession of the firearm. Jackson picked up the gun and shot the teen in the arm. A 38-year-old woman who happened to be in close proximity was also caught in the crossfire and was struck in the leg. She and the teenager were taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 19-year-old Damius Linden and Jacques were booked on 1 count of fighting in public each. 18-year-old Jackson was booked on 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, while the teenage gunman faces a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The dispute was allegedly over one of them speaking to someone else's girlfriend.
A Mansfield man working as a federal produce inspector has been indicted on complaints of false reporting in exchange for bribe payments. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Texas announced Wednesday that a federal grand jury indicted 68-year-old Timothy Papel, who worked as a federal produce inspector, for allegedly submitting false inspection reports in exchange for bribe payments. Papel was a federal produce inspector with the Agricultural Marketing Service, or AMS, a division of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and was responsible for conducting produce inspections and providing inspection reports to companies buying and selling produce. According to prosecutors, wholesale produce company American Fresh Produce began requesting produce inspections from AMS back in 2014 to rate their produce. Papel was one of the inspectors who inspected and graded the produce and created inspection reports. According to law enforcement, Papel started performing produce inspections for American Fresh Produce and solicited and received weekly bribe payments of $1,000 to $1,500 from the wholesale company. In exchange for the bribery payments, Papel agreed to create produce inspection reports that falsely downgraded the produce. Papel faces one count of conspiracy to commit honest services wire fraud and receiving a bribe from a public officer, 5 counts of honest services wire fraud, and 1 count of receiving a bribe by a public official. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in prison on the count of conspiracy, 20 years in prison on each count of honest services wire fraud, and 15 years in prison on the count of receiving a bribe from a public official, plus restitution.
2 14-year-old boys, one of them from Mansfield, are suspects in a swatting incident involving Baker High School in Florida. Swatting is the making of a prank call to emergency services in an attempt to dispatch a large number of armed police officers to a particular address. The Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office is looking for the source of a November swatting incident at Baker School and has identified 2 14-year-olds, one who attends Baker School and another from here in Mansfield. Both teens are believed to be part of a national swatting group that pays members with cryptocurrency to commit crimes. The group, called Lulz SEC, is believed to be responsible for swatting incidents in the United States and Canada. The Crestview Police Department received the swatting or hoax call at 8:46 a.m. on November 3rd, stating an armed individual was preparing to start a mass shooting at Baker School, which led to local lockdowns. Further investigation led Okaloosa County investigators to trace the phone call to a Mansfield, Texas address. They interviewed the Mansfield 14-year-old and gained a search warrant for his cell phone, which led to the Baker School student and the Lulz SEC group. The Mansfield teen is expected to be extradited to Okaloosa County and will face charges of making an electronic threat of a mass shooting, making a false report of firearms being used in a violent manner, use of a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony, and interference with school functions. The Baker High School student is believed to be tied to other swatting calls nationwide, including in New Jersey, Arizona, Indiana, and Texas. He will face multiple felonies in connection with these cases.
Meanwhile, it was a great run for Jan and John Cox as they closed and locked the doors of Stevens Garden and Grill in mid-December for the last time, as the couple announced on social media that they have decided to retire from the restaurant business. The Coxes wrote, quote, "It has been a pleasure serving and fellowshipping with all of you over the past 22 years. God bless," unquote. On a personal note, this is a bittersweet end to an institution in Mansfield. As a musician, Stevens was the first venue in Mansfield that I performed in. From that point on, along with my partner Scott Wellmaker, we made music there for 117 consecutive months. When Wellmaker retired and moved out of state, I continued as a solo artist and extended that streak to 140 months in a row. Many wonderful memories were made at Stevens Garden Grill. In fact, here's a fun fact. The Pickle Parade idea was conceived on a cocktail napkin at Stevens. On behalf of the entire About Mansfield news team, we wish Jan and John Cox all the best. And as Bob Hope once said, Thanks for the memories.
Hi, this is Jan Cox.
And this is John Cox, owner of Stevens Garden and Grill.
And you're listening to About Mansfield.
The new year ushered in a new Mansfield resident at 1:10 a.m. on January 1st. Julie Rowe gave birth to a healthy baby boy, Clayton Bradley, at Methodist Mansfield Medical Center. Weighing in at 6 pounds, 4 ounces, and measuring 19.25 inches long, Clayton was delivered by Dr. Heather Gardo. Big brother Caden and big sister Kaylee were thrilled to welcome baby Clayton into the family. Mother Julie Rowe and father Colby Adair are from Mansfield and received a basket full of gifts and a new baby book provided by Methodist Mansfield and the Mansfield Women's Club to help Clayton get a head start on reading as part of the Read to Me program.
If you were a regular customer of the Mansfield Farm and Cottage Market at the Lot this past summer, or if you went to the Mansfield Farmers Market the year before, you may know the name Mama Mitchie's Kitchen, with the beignets and the muffins and so much great food coming out of Mama Mitchie's Kitchen. Well, with us on the phone is the owner of Mama Mitchie's Kitchen. That would be Michelle Hanley. And the reason we're having her on the show is because she did something big last week. First of all, Michelle Hanley, welcome to About Mansfield.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me.
You love to bake.
I sure do.
It was proven last week because you broke the world record, the Guinness World Record of continuous baking. My research department told me 55 hours of continuous baking. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
55 hours, which, by the way, breaks down to 2 days and 7 hours. The first question is, why?
Well, because there was a record already for 47 hours and 21 minutes and 21 seconds.
47 hours, and with that, so how did 55 hours come to be the goal? Why did you not just go for 48 hours?
I chose 55 hours because by the time Guinness will receive all the evidence, if there's any mistake with, calculation of time or whatever, if they deduct any hours, I will still be at the top. I just wanted to set a goal that it will be more than 50. I don't know. My mind was telling me 55. Just go for it. I don't know why I choose that, but I was like, I'm doing 55, not 50, not 48, not 49, 55.
How much prep work was involved with the planning of doing 55 hours of continuous baking?
A little bit of backstory. When I applied for this, it was back in May, but I never got to hear back from Guinness World Records because it stated that if you don't hear back from them, don't do the attempt. Don't try it. So I was waiting. I thought maybe they didn't choose me or anything, so I forgot completely about it. So after Thanksgiving, I got an email that I've been approved, accepted to go ahead and break my record. And it says by the time you get approved, you have 3 months to do this. But I wanted to do it before the end of the year. I wanted something to celebrate, look forward to celebrate by the end of the year, beginning of 2024. So I rushed into it. So it was rushed. And we had to rush in getting volunteers, over 42 volunteers, people to work, because we need 2 people each 4 hours shift to be the timer, the witness, the ear of Guinness World Records. So it was rushed. We didn't have much time to prepare.
What happened to all the food after you cooked it? We
gave it out to the community. It was after the whole thing, all is said and done, people stopped by and it got distributed to the community. Anyone.
I noticed that the police department was playing a big role. They were posting on social media as well. Any of the cookies or the cupcakes go to the police?
Yes, the ones that stopped by, they got some from the first day. The fire department, the police, and they make sure sometimes in the middle of the night they pop in with was really, really nice of them, coming by 1 a.m. to check how I'm doing. That I really appreciate. Thank you, police department and fire department as well.
During the 55 hours, were you able to take a break, meaning that you pop in the 3 or 4 dozen cupcakes and you set the timer for 45 minutes? Were you able to take maybe a little nap in between cooking?
No nap. You only get 5 minutes break. You have to do an hour for you to end 5 minutes break. And the 5 minutes, that is when you can use the restroom, if you want to sit for a minute, because, there's not much of sitting.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, big question right here. If someone were to break your record, would you do it again?
I may, those crazy ideas. I may do it again, but I don't know, maybe on something else, not cooking, because they have a lot of records.
Really? You got something else in mind?
Probably.
We're going to keep our eye on Michelle Hanley then. Michelle, congratulations for 55 hours of consecutive baking. You are now a world record holder. Again, congratulations, Michelle, and thank you for being on About Mansfield.
Oh, thank you for having me, Steve, and Happy New Year.
Being the first Wednesday of the month, we usually welcome tourism manager Tim Roberts to the studio. But after the Visit Mansfield crew worked their tails off in December, bringing hometown holidays delight to one and all, admittedly, January's cultural events calendar is a little light. But that doesn't mean that Roberts and crew are resting on their laurels, as they are gearing up for future events in Mansfield, such as Arts Week in March and the Music Alley Eclipse Fest in April. You'll be hearing more information about those and other events as the dates draw closer.
Who's 24-1 in high school basketball? We'll talk about it because sports is next.
Are you ready to create unforgettable memories? Picture this. An enchanting event venue nestled amidst breathtaking landscapes with panoramic views right here in Mansfield. The Grandview Event Center is the perfect setting to bring your vision to life. From intimate gatherings to large-scale extravaganzas, the Grandview has flexible spaces to accommodate any occasion, be it a graduation or school function, art exhibition, or birthday or anniversary party. Book your next unforgettable experience at thegrandviewmansfield.com. That's thegrandviewmansfield.com. The Grandview Event Center, where memories are made and dreams become reality. Book your event today.
I'm Philip Washington, Chief Investment Officer of Stonehill Wealth Management and host of the Wealth Building Made Simple podcast. First book I read in college was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it changed my life. And since then, I've read tons and tons of books on money, and what I've done is taken those lessons, simplified them, and I talk about those lessons on my podcast, Wealth Building Made Simple. So come hang out with us. We're on every major platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube, Wealth Building Made Simple.
The housing market is evolving as interest rates rise to meet inflation. Speculation abounds as to what the future may hold. Do you have a trusted advisor? The Roger and Beth team at Century 21 Judge Fight should be your first call in all matters concerning real estate and the market. We specialize in residential real estate for both buyers and sellers. With industry partners across North America, our resources and expertise can turn the home you've been envisioning into a reality. Visit our website at homesinmansfield.com to learn more. That's homesinmansfield.com.
In sports, the Timberview girls basketball team continue their winning ways with a 24-1 win-loss record and a 22-game winning streak, ranking them 12th in the country. In the past 10 games, the Lady Wolves have averaged 69 points per game while holding their opponents to just 34 points, including posting scores like 71-29 over Plano East and 91-20 over Lebanon Trail. Their most difficult opponent this year was undoubtedly the 45-40 5-point victory over Allen on December 28th. Allen started out strong with an early 14-2 lead, but the Wolves came rumbling back and down by just 1 point at halftime. Then it was all Wolves as they scored 12 unanswered points and held Allen to just one basket in the third quarter. By the start of the fourth, it was a race to the finish line, and the Lady Wolves left the gym with another victory. Before heading into the playoffs, the Timberview girls have 10 more regular season games to play, including taking on Summit on January 30th. If you have a chance to see these girls play, don't pass it up. If you have a comment about the show, the news, whatever's on your mind locally, the good, the bad, the ugly, you can reach us by voicemail at 817-435-2938, or you can email us at news@aboutmansfield.com, just like Mark did. He writes, "We've been listening for a little over 3 years. Thanks for introducing us to many of our neighbors in our community and their stories, along with keeping us up to date on local news and events. About Mansfield helps us know what is happening locally, and congratulations on About Mansfield's more than 200 episodes." Thank you, Mark. This coming Thursday, January 4th, is National Trivia Day, and we love our trivia here on this podcast. This day honors and pays respect to those who store voluminous amounts of general knowledge and the most obscure, irrelevant, but still interesting facts, quotes, and song lyrics in their brains. Here are a few interesting fun facts to get you ready for National Trivia Day. An average cloud weighs around 1.1 million pounds. During World War II, bacon was used to make explosives. And Play-Doh was not originally a kid's toy. It was advertised and sold as wallpaper cleaner. So this coming Thursday night, break out your box of Trivial Pursuit and enjoy National Trivia Day. Oh, you want one more? Did you know that the word podcast actually derives from the words iPod and broadcast? Despite the name, you're probably well aware of this by now, you do not need an iPod to listen to the About Mansfield podcast.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
It's a new year and a new you. I'm Angel Biasatti, and we'll be talking about a new year, a new you next. And Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
It's a new year. I'm excited, and I hope you are too. Is there also a new house on your 2024 wish list? I'm Beth Steinke. Let's figure out where the market is going to take us in 2024 on the Mansfield Real Estate Report.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, I'll be talking about a cocktail that's a bit of a twist.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by the Grandview Event Center.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
Congratulations to Mark Walker, who was the first person to respond to our trivia request, which was to simply wish the About Mansfield team a Merry Christmas. Thank you, Mark. When we come back, this week's trivia question. This is About Mansfield.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and we all remember the storm that blew through our town back in June that pelted this community with baseball-sized hail. It did a ton of damage around Mansfield, including my own roof. Regular listeners to About Mansfield have heard Paul Duncan's commercials for Trinity Roofing and Construction, and after the storm, I reached out to him, and boy, am I glad that I did. From the first call to Paul to working with the crew leader, the scheduling department, and the entire construction team, and how it all played out with my insurance company, working with Trinity Roofing and Construction was a breeze. It's easy to see why they're a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So if you're thinking on replacing your roof, look no further than Trinity Roofing and Construction. They're a Mansfield-based company, and you can find them on the web at trinityroofingconstruction.com. Again, that's trinityroofingconstruction.com.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right now, right here, right now, for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield Trivia Question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice. It's brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped the Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. Colleen, it's your turn.
Well, Steve, for nearly 150 years, Mansfield, Ohio was the most populated city among 26 places named Mansfield in the United States. But Mansfield, Texas had a growth spurt and took over as the most populated. Here's a multiple-choice trivia question. In which decade, according to the Census Bureau, did Mansfield, Texas become the most populated city named Mansfield in the nation? Was it the 1970s, the 1990s, or the 2010s? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, in which decade did Mansfield, Texas become the most populated city named Mansfield in the U.S.? Was it the 1970s, the 1990s, or the 2010s? Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
Hi, I'm Scott Bowman, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti says the new year is the time for a new you in Methodist Mansfield. News to know. Angel?
Want to embark on a journey toward a healthy, happier you? It isn't just about shedding pounds. It's a lifeline toward lasting health and well-being. Tell us about the Methodist Weight Loss and Wellness Center and why it is so successful, Dr. George Cuddy.
So since we've opened on May 4th, 2023, we worked with a dozen patients, and they've averaged at least 3 to 6 pound weight loss every month. So together, we're helping individuals explore the path to safe, sound, and lifelong weight loss. The Weight Loss and Wellness Center offers a 6-month program with a non-surgical approach to weight loss. The program features body composition analysis, nutrition counseling, sport, and behavioral assistance. Unlike most of these other clinics that are out there that are offering shots to lose weight, we try to provide you with a more comprehensive approach and follow you and see what exactly are you losing. Are you losing muscle? Are you losing fat? Are you gaining muscle? And so where we can actually look at different avenues to help you lose what needs to be lost, but keep what you need to keep.
What does the program entail, Dr. George Cuddy?
At the heart of this wellness center lies a commitment to your well-being, focusing on safe methods that nurture not just your body, but also your spirit. So we're providing you a comprehensive approach to weight loss. And it's not just about the number on the scale. It's about fostering a healthy relationship with food, nurturing your body, and embracing a more vibrant lifestyle. We want to be able to help you create a lifestyle modification that you can sustain for all the years that you're going to live and have a more fruitful and lively life.
How do people sign up for the program?
So individuals can call 682-242-7526 for an appointment today with our weight loss and wellness team and begin their journey to a safe and sustained weight loss. And under my guidance at the Methodist Mansfield Medical Center Weight Loss and Wellness Center, you're not alone in this journey to losing weight. You'll discover that you would have a comprehensive support system that's going to help empower you and motivate you, and will give you all the tools for a lifelong success of keeping the weight off.
Dr. George Cuddy, I know it's very popular now to go out and get a shot for weight loss. How does our program different, and are these shots safe to take?
So the shots that exist are GLP-1 agonists. And so they work on receptors in our body to help us keep us full faster. But it just not only helps us with just portion control, but in turn, it actually helps us with weight loss. So yes, these shots have become extremely popular worldwide, essentially. But unfortunately, if it's not paired with a comprehensive approach of losing weight, patients can end up losing fat, muscle, and bone. So it's really important that you have a comprehensive approach at looking at weight loss and not just using a shot to be able to help you lose weight. I won't deny that GLP-1 agonists are revolutionary to the world of obesity and to the world of weight loss. It's a great tool to actually help patients with losing weight, but I believe it has to be paired with a more comprehensive approach of looking at your nutrition and looking at your exercise regimen and making sure we're implementing lifestyle modifications that's going to help you sustain that weight loss. It's a great tool to have, but you have to pair it with a program that's going to help look at your nutrition and your exercise, and perhaps even look at the mental aspect of losing weight and change some of the modifications that originally allowed a person to gain weight, and now they need to sort of lose weight and sustain that weight loss. I tell patients all the time, the medications are great for helping people to lose weight, but you have to pair it along with a comprehensive approach of looking at a person holistically.
Thank you, Dr. George Cuddy. As we step into the new year, let's equip ourselves with the tools for lifelong success. The Methodist Mansfield Medical Center Weight Loss and Wellness Center is designed to ensure that your weight loss isn't just temporary, but sustainable, helping you become the best version of yourself. That's Methodist Mansfield News to Know. I'm Angel Biasatti, reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
After taking the month of December off, Beth Steinke is back with more real estate tips in the Mansfield Real Estate Market Update. Beth?
2023 was a tough year in real estate for most people. Those that wanted to buy a home struggled with rising interest rates and historically high home prices, while those that needed to sell and move struggled with how to price their home to get maximum return and not have their home sit on the market for months. How tough was 2023, you ask? The National Association of Realtors reports that we may not crest 4 million transactions for all of 2023. That is the lowest number of transactions since 1993, 30 years. The rise in interest rates, coupled with homeowners handcuffed to their sub-3% mortgages, created the perfect storm in people just staying put. We've also experienced the largest increase in apartments built and available in the last 40 years. But, as always, there is the rest of the story, and the rest of this story gives us great hope for 2024. In 1993, we only had 260 million people living in the U.S. Today, we have 340 million. So the lowest transactions last year, but so many more people, coupled with the largest generation we've ever seen hitting the prime home buying and household formation years, creates a new perfect storm. One that says, if you've been thinking about making a move, you'd better start packing. What steps should you take if you are thinking 2024 is your year? Number 1, get your finances in order and keep them stable. This means tracking your spending, creating a budget, and paying every one of your bills on time. Improving your credit score is essential and greatly affects the interest rate you'll receive on a mortgage. You'll likely want to pay off debt as part of this process, but I recommend doing that under the instruction of a mortgage lender because sometimes things we think will help credit score can actually have the opposite effect. This isn't the fun or sexy part of home buying, but it is a necessary starting point. Number 2, save for the down payment. A down payment is a significant upfront cost when buying a home, and the more that you have saved, the more options you'll have when it comes to finding a home that fits your budget. Consider cutting back on non-essential expenses and redirecting that money into a savings account, specifically for your down payment. Maybe cut out one round of golf a month or do one less pedicure to jumpstart your savings. There are other creative ways to get the down payment. I have lots of ideas we can talk about in-depth one-on-one. And there are new programs that are debuting every month that will help with down payment assistance. Number 3, get to know the housing market. I recommend starting with a buyer consultation with your realtor. They will listen to your needs and wants and give you great direction on house types, neighborhoods, and communities that meet your specific needs. Ask questions about home prices, property taxes, and other costs in the area in which you hope to buy. This will give you a better idea of what to expect when it comes time to make an offer. Number 4, get pre-approved for a mortgage. As I always say, he who has the money makes the rules. So regardless of how ready you feel to buy, the lender is going to have the final say. Lending has tightened significantly since the mortgage crisis in 2008, so if that's the last time you purchased, it's a whole different ballgame now. You and your realtor need to know how much you can afford to borrow before you get too far into the process. That can make the home buying process go so much more smoothly. Keep in mind that a pre-approval is not the same as a pre-qualification, and an internet lender is not the same as a trusted local mortgage professional. Number 5, if you haven't already, find a great real estate agent that's a good fit for you. A good real estate agent is an invaluable resource, helping you find the right home, negotiating the best price. They can also provide valuable insight into the home buying process and help you navigate any challenges that come up. Number 6, be patient. Buying a home is a big undertaking, and it's important to be patient. Ask questions and understand the process and next steps. Your realtor is your go-to resource for helping you along the way. With a little planning and determination, you can definitely make this happen in 2024. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the Mansfield real estate market in real time. As of January 2nd, there are 119 active and available homes for sale. Homes this week range from a $189,000 unique fixer, with the list topping out at nearly $2.3 million for an over 7,000 square foot home on 2.5 acres. If we add in new construction listings, that number jumps to 249 available homes, topping out at $3.4 million. A brand new 6,400 square foot home currently under construction with a 4-car garage and high-end finishes. A listing presented to you by yours truly. Tell a friend about this one for me. Mansfield Real Estate is still performing quite well in light of all the various market dynamics and economic pressures. I'd love to hear from you. Send in your question about real estate. I'll be sure to give you a shout out on a future episode. Email questions to info@aboutmansfield.com. For the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Beth Steinke with Century 21 Judge Fight.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a bit of a twist in the cocktail of the week. Brian?
This week's cocktail of the week is the Driving Hugo. As we enter 2024, I wanted to stop for a minute and celebrate Dry January and give you 5 great mocktails to start your year. The Driving Hugo is a festive, refreshing mocktail that captures the essence of the classic Hugo cocktail without the alcohol. This fruity, floral drink is the perfect non-alcoholic beverage to serve at your next gathering. But as always, don't worry about taking notes as I'm giving out the ingredients and instructions. I always post them on bourbongospel.com. If you want to make your life easier in 2024, you can also sign up at bourbongospel.com, and I will have the cocktail of the week delivered directly to your inbox every Wednesday. The Driving Hugo. Ingredients. You're going to need an elderflower cordial. You're going to need a 0-proof sparkling wine or soda water. You're going to need a mint sprig and a lime wedge. To make the cocktail, you're going to add ice cubes to a large wine glass or champagne flute. You're going to pour in 3 ounces of the elderflower cordial. It's a sweet syrup made from elderflower blossoms. You can find the cordial at most liquor stores or certainly online. Then going to top with a 0-proof sparkling wine. Look for de-alcoholized wines that mimic the dry, bubbly flavor of a champagne or Prosecco. Alternatively, you can use plain soda water. You're going to then stir gently to combine the elderflower cordial with the sparkling wine, and then garnish the glass with a mint sprig and a lime wedge. The mint adds a light, fresh aroma, while the lime provides a nice citrusy accent. Serve immediately while cold. The elderflower cordial imparts a delicately sweet floral flavor that is balanced by the dry effervescence of the sparkling wine or soda water. For an adult version, simply swap out an equal amount of real champagne or Prosecco. The Driving Hugo mocktail provides all the festive flavors that you crave in the Hugo cocktail without the alcohol, making it a refreshing crowd pleaser beverage for the designated drivers and the non-drinkers alike. Sip away guilt-free and keep your glass full of holiday cheer. As always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with Steve's interview with Mansfield Business Alliance nonprofit board chairperson, Joe Jenkins.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and are you ready to make your voice heard? Want to bring out your ideas to life through captivating conversations and engaging visuals? Look no further than Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio, your one-stop destination for award-winning audio and video podcast recording. Equipped with cutting-edge microphones, crystal clear audio recording, and high-definition cameras, we're here to turn your ideas into engrossing content. But it's not just about the equipment. We're dedicated to bringing out the best in your content. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, we're here to elevate your podcasting game. We'll even help you with intro music, transitions, voiceover, and that professional polish that sets your podcast apart. So whether you're into interviews, storytelling, or simply sharing your expertise, Podcast Mansfield can help bring your podcasting dreams to life. Visit podcastmansfield.com. Podcast Mansfield, where creating your podcast masterpiece has never been easier.
I'm Mansfield Police Chief Tracy Aaron, and you are listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. And in the studio today, you know the name. You know the name because he has been the sponsor for the Mansfield Trivia Question for well over a year. And as a sponsor, we want to thank him. Number one, let's say welcome, Joe Jenkins, to the About Mansfield podcast.
Well, thank you for having me, Steve. You know, we love sponsoring the Trivia Question. The only downside is I don't get to play trivia anymore, play the Trivia Question. So that's the downside. But like I said, we're happy to sponsor it. We like to do it. So
yeah, thank you again for being a participant and being active on and helping support local news.
Absolutely. And those local restaurants that we like to buy gift cards for.
That's right. And your right-hand person, Winoka, goes out and actually purchases these gift cards, and they wind up in the hands of our listeners. And you're not here to talk about the trivia question, and you are actually this is your third time? Yeah, that's right. You talked about yourself. We did a feature on you. Then we talked about Boy Scouts. This is now your third time on the show.
That's it.
And you're here to talk about a new endeavor.
We are. Something we're real excited about.
And it launches today.
Today, January 3rd.
Today being, if you are listening on the day of the release, today is Wednesday, January 3rd. So today, the release and the launch of
the Mansfield Business Alliance.
The Mansfield Business Alliance.
Yes.
Or the MBA.
Or the MBA.
Which are great letters because they're easy to remember.
Yes.
What is the Mansfield Business Alliance?
Mansfield Business Alliance is a nonprofit organization. We are a 501c6, which is a nonprofit chamber of commerce. And the goal of the Mansfield Business Alliance is to support local businesses in the Mansfield ISD area, encourage growth, partner with the city, and really just work toward the success of businesses in that area.
Yeah. Okay, we got to go back.
Okay.
501c6, you said, is a nonprofit
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Is the Mansfield Business Alliance a Chamber of Commerce?
On paper, yes, we are. And in a lot of ways, we are a Chamber of Commerce.
Okay. Do we need another Chamber of Commerce here in Mansfield?
Well, as a good friend of mine once said, we can have as many chambers of commerce as we need to have. And we are doing something completely different than any other group in town is our goal. We don't look to see what we're doing as we're not in competition with any other group. We're not looking to hurt the membership of any other group. We're just looking to provide something different by offering things like ribbon cuttings for new businesses or new locations, business after hours, educational experiences with our city leaders. A big part of what we're doing is partnering with the city of Mansfield so that we can have questions answered. We can work with them on growth of the business. One of our core beliefs is that as Mansfield succeeds as a city, our businesses will succeed as well.
Education meaning like a Meet the Mayor Day or a Meet the City Manager Day?
Well, pretty close to that. Actually, our plan right now is once a month we're going to start hosting a very informal coffee with somebody. We don't have an exact name for it yet, but we'll come up with something clever. And the idea is that business owners will get to sit down with the mayor.
Oh, I've got one. A cup of Joe with Joe.
There you go. That works once.
Okay.
Yes. Or the city man. These all are city count. The city manager, Jason Moore, the head of the MEDC. Hopefully, Dr. Cantu would agree to come sit down because business owners care what's happening in their city. They care what's happening with their schools. They want all those things to be successful. So the idea is to sit down, have an informal conversation with them, let them ask questions. With informal really being the key word. So it's not a meeting necessarily. It's really just a conversation.
Right. And you mentioned that, we can have as many chambers in Mansfield as needed. You're not the second one. That there was at one point, I believe the sign is still up on 157, advertising the Mansfield Minority Chamber,
yes.
which I don't know if they're still in business or not. You don't know. We talked about this before,
right.
that there's still a Facebook page, but the last posting was?
It's been a while.
Pre-COVID was the last posting.
Possibly.
Okay. The research I did on this was the city of Chicago has over 80 chambers of commerce. And so there's room for everyone.
And like I said, we're not calling ourselves a Chamber of Commerce. We like the idea of a Mansfield Business Alliance. But on paper, we are, like I said, our tax designation is a 501c6, which is a Chamber of Commerce.
Do you, with a nonprofit, there comes an executive board. Has that been put together?
Very loosely. Right now, we have, when this idea came about, I realized I wasn't going to be able to do this just myself. So I put together a group of business owners that I knew, that I trusted, went to your friend and Dr. Michael Evans, the mayor of town, and said, hey,
I've heard of him.
Yeah. And said, hey, I'd like some suggestions, people to help me put this together. So I formed a very loose board of 8 business owners here in town, that have been a huge help in forming this. The goal, though, is we will actually elect an official board once we get to 50 members. We're at 25 on launch day. We expect to be well over 50 by the end of the month. There's already been some buzz around town. People do know about this. And we're going to have a general meeting, and we are actually going to elect a board of directors.
You mentioned you're at 25 members. I'm not going to ask you to cite all 25, but do you want to give an example?
Sure. Well, how about Podcast Mansfield as an example?
Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio.
One of our founding members, the Mansfield Record. We also have an interview with the Mansfield Record that's coming out today as well.
Sure.
Our local online newspaper, My Business, Joe Jenkins Insurance, Tailor Made Consulting, Oaken Digital, Hill, Blue Mint, one of my favorite Thai places in town,
and they show up occasionally on the Mansfield Trivia Question as one of the gift cards that we give away.
They do.
Is Blue Mint.
Andy Mack, the
candy store,
the best candy store in the world.
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, Minuteman Heating and Air, Hawaii Fluid Art, Paisley Grace, Buttermilk Sky, El Primos and the Vault are going to be members.
Thank you, Todd.
Destiny Voice, the music studio here in town. I mean, like I said, we've got 25 members we're launching with. Bethlehem Baptist Church, one of those members.
I've heard of them too.
Yes. So, like I said, I'm not mentioning all of them, and I could, but like I said, we want to. They were the 25 businesses we approached were all businesses here in Mansfield ISD. We're limiting our membership to having a physical location within Mansfield ISD.
Okay. So that encompasses a little bit of Grand Prairie, a little bit of Arlington, maybe into Kennedale and the outskirts of Rendon and whatnot. But that does exclude, obviously businesses that go beyond the boundaries. You're not going to have a business from Grapevine or what
No, we're not.
No, okay.
No, not unless they have a physical location here in town.
And going down the list, this is not just a small business alliance. You mentioned some pretty hefty sized businesses.
Absolutely not. When this idea kind of popped into my head, the original thought was to make this a small business chamber of commerce. And there's a lot of great larger businesses in town. We certainly wouldn't want to alienate them. I had breakfast just recently with, James Sellers from Cellmark. And, we would love for them to be a member. There's no reason that, anybody that cares about Mansfield, that cares about the business community in Mansfield thriving can be a member.
Sure. Is it expensive?
It's not actually. So we looked at a lot of different chambers of commerce around North Texas, probably 15 to 20 of them. And there was a wide variety of how much you pay to be a member. There was one chamber of commerce we looked at. They had their initial membership was around $500 to $600, but you could pay anywhere up to $13,000 to be a member. And I'm not sure what the difference between the two was. We've kept it relatively simple.
Yeah.
We have one basic membership. It's a $250 annual membership. With that, if you would like a ribbon cutting for joining the chamber, we're going to do that for you. You're going to be able to come to all the business after hours, coffee with the mayor, any events that we're going to do. We're going to do lunch and learns, partner with the MEDC.
Oh, I got another name. Java with Jason.
Okay, we got two now.
Now we're two.
So we got to just
Mocha with the mayor.
There you go.
Okay,
we're going to have to keep working on them, Steve. So as you get them, you text me and let me know.
Okay, we're up to three. We're up to three,
and then we're going to have. We've been approached by multiple just individuals in town that have said, I don't own a business, but I care about the business in Mansfield. I'd like to be plugged in. I'd like to find out. So we're going to have an individual membership that's $100 a year. It allows you to come to the events and be involved. But you don't necessarily have to own a business.
You don't have to own a business.
Sure.
You can just be the average person on the street.
Yes.
You could be my next door neighbor who does not own a business.
There you go.
All right. Let's talk about events, because the one that you mentioned that caught my attention was ribbon cuttings.
So ribbon cuttings, I think, are something that are really important. When I opened up my office in 2010, or started my business in 2010, one of the first things I did was join Chamber of Commerce and had a ribbon cutting. Had a ribbon cutting when I moved my office from South Arlington to Mansfield. And so I've had two ribbon cuttings, and they're important events. They're events where, as a business, we attended a lot of other people's ribbon cuttings to welcome those people to Mansfield. A friend of mine said that, having something like a ribbon cutting provides some validation to those people that are putting everything on the line to open a business. And having other businesses and business owners and employees of those businesses come out, introduce themselves, let you know that, hey, we want to support you. It really is super important to those people.
Well, there's something about the entrepreneur, and I've been a business owner since 1981, I think, a variety of businesses. entrepreneurs are the risk takers.
Sure.
They don't have a salary for the most part.
Especially not when they start.
Right. Yeah. For the most part, you're not taking a salary. You're taking a little bit of the net profit, and that's becoming your whatever income is yours. And they deserve a ribbon cutting.
100%. And we're happy to provide that to them.
Oh my gosh. I got another one.
Okay.
Tell you what. Effective immediately. Why don't we do this once a month? You provide me with a list of all the people who have ribbon cuttings, and we'll put them on the podcast.
Love it.
And this way, our listeners, whether they're a member or not, can at least go to the business on that day of the ribbon cutting and also welcome the business to town.
And that's our goal. It's like I said, I think that's a great idea. We would love to have as much press as possible. You know, our goal is to really highlight these businesses. No one business in particular, but like I said, our social media is going to be full of our members and what they're doing as far as whether their business has an event. They've got it's a retail business and they're having a sale. They're having a party they want to invite people to, all those sorts of things, a birthday, you know, that kind of stuff. So anything we can do to highlight these businesses is what we want to do. That's really the goal.
Count us in.
Great. I love it. Well, speaking of ribbon cuttings.
Do it.
We're having our first ribbon cutting tonight.
Tonight. Again, the release, if you're listening on the day of the release, this is Wednesday, January 3rd.
Yes.
Tonight.
If you're listening tomorrow, you've missed it. But this is the reason you listen the day the podcast comes out.
It's very important.
Yes. You don't want to miss anything. But we are having our first ribbon cutting tonight, actually here in the building that we're recording in.
You're right.
At the new Grandview.
The Grandview Event Center.
The Grandview Event Center, back in the back of Cellmark. And we are actually having a ribbon cutting for the Mansfield Business Alliance.
Oh.
So the city has been doing these ribbon cuttings pretty much since COVID. And that was kind of where this whole idea came from, is I happened to run into Dr. Evans doing a ribbon cutting. And I said, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he said, well, somebody's got to do these and we need to welcome these businesses to town. And so that was kind of where I got the idea where we need a group that is doing this. So the mayor's going to be there. We're going to have some members of city council there, and we're going to have a kind of proverbial passing of the torch from the city council cutting ribbons to the Mansfield Business Alliance cutting ribbons. As I said, we're partnering with the city on a lot of things. And one of these is we're going to take over the ribbon cuttings from them. Now, I think a lot of those city council member and the mayor will still be at a lot of them, but
Sure.
It's going to kind of fall under our purview, us and the MEDC, and we will. So tonight we're actually having our first ribbon cutting at a little happy hour from 4 to 5:30 at the Grandview.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is welcome.
2201 Heritage Parkway, Suite 107.
That's it.
It's the Grandview. I should know that I'm Suite 106, so I'm right next door. The Grandview Ballroom or Event Center is absolutely stunning.
Yes.
And it's a great place to, and in this case, hold a ribbon cutting. And actually, in full disclosure, the Grandview Event Center is one of our sponsors here on the podcast. You can hear their commercial. Tonight, Wednesday, January 3rd, the ribbon cutting for the Mansfield Business Alliance, and starts again at
4 o'clock, and we're going to be here till about 5:30. So
right.
a little happy hour after we cut some ribbon.
So you got the ribbon cuttings. Would the ribbon cuttings also apply to groundbreakings?
Yes. New businesses coming to town. You know, I'm building a new office. I didn't do the groundbreaking, but I do plan on having a ribbon cutting when we move in. We finally get to move into our new office. We're moving right downtown on Main Street. Very excited to be there. It'll be my third ribbon cutting. We had a ribbon cutting when I opened my business. We had a ribbon cutting when moved our offices to Mansfield, and then we had a ribbon cutting, and we'll have a third ribbon cutting when we open up our brand new office. So very excited about that as well. But, you know, any business, if, you know, we had a business reach out and say, hey, we're about to have our 5th anniversary. We'd love to do something. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, somebody who's been on your podcast, Dr. Darren Charles with Hometown Health, who's going to be one of our first 25 members.
Sure.
He's about to his 5th anniversary, and they want to have a little get together. And I said, well, then let's do a ribbon cutting and let's welcome you to the Mansfield Business Alliance and have a ribbon cutting and, you know, as part of your little event. And So that's going to be one of the first ones. We haven't put that on the calendar yet, but like I said, there's a lot of businesses coming to town. So we're excited about that. That's I don't want to say we're just a group that does ribbon cuttings, but it's a big part of what we're doing, and I think it's a really important one too.
Does the Mansfield Business Alliance have a website?
It does. We are MansfieldBusinessAlliance.org. Mm-hmm. And we have a Facebook page that is just the Mansfield Business Alliance. If you look it up there on Facebook, please come join and follow what we're doing and see all the great businesses in Mansfield, what's going on with them. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to do great things. We're real excited about this.
MansfieldBusinessAlliance.org, or again, look on Facebook for Mansfield Business Alliance. 25 members so far. The initial 25 sound wonderful, at least the ones that you mentioned. We look forward to partnering with the Business Alliance. And Joe, gosh, thank you for taking on an enormous endeavor.
It's been big.
Right. Knowing that I have people friends who work in nonprofits who say, oh, yes, it's not just a matter of, hey, let's open the doors to a nonprofit and do it. There's a lot at the back end that people don't know about. And you're doing it. And I welcome the Business Alliance to Mansfield.
Well, thank you so much. We're excited. And like I said, we're going to do great things for businesses in Mansfield and for Mansfield in general.
Yeah. Thanks for being on About Mansfield.
My pleasure. I hope to come back soon.
Coming up next week, we will talk in studio with yet another fine Mansfield resident. You will just have to tune in to find out who it is. In the meantime, this is the place where you will hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share, love, or support this podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Right there on the homepage, enter your email address. We will never send you any spam. We promise.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Mansfield Real Estate Market Update, Beth Steinke. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio, LLC, for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without written consent is prohibited. We thank you all for listening on behalf of the entire news team. I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.